All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me for our fourth edition of Let's Talk Live. Today's guest is a former basketball player and current basketball coach for West Coast Elite. He has been a basketball coach for 19 years. He is originally from Lake Charles, Louisiana, aka Fisherville, and now lives in Compton, California. He is a 1988 high school graduate of my alma mater, Lake Charles Boston High School. He holds undergraduate degrees from Compton College and Cal State Dominguez Hills University. He also holds a postgraduate degree from Concordia University. Please welcome Coach Chris Francis. Let me bring him on. Oh, there we go. It's adding. All right. What's up, Chris? How you are, man? How are you, man?
What's up, man? Great to see you, man.
All right. All right.
Be a part of it, brother.
Oh, I certainly appreciate you participating in this, man. How is the weather in California?
Hey, man, it never rains in Southern California.
It never rains, huh?
Mid-80s, man, so it's a beautiful day, man.
Oh, I'm glad to hear. Good, good, good. Well, I'm sure you have some idea of how this has been working so far. This is going to be our fourth edition. I'll always like to start with some icebreaker questions. Then we'll talk about you personally, and if we get a chance, we'll even talk about some of the current events that are going on and how we are being affected by those things. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
All right. So I've already given you an introduction, but I want to give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself in case I forgot something.
You pretty much hit the nail on the head, man. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Actually, just got back from there last week. My dad turned 71, so I surprised him for his birthday on last Saturday.
Nice.
Then my dad's brother, my uncle John Francis, man, he passed away.
Oh, wow.
He was a member of the military, the Air Force, so we, kind of had a ceremony for him at the military base in Houston. So I love home. I love my family. I just got to see all my cousins, man. I love y'all. I know y'all going to be watching.
Right.
All my cousins on the Francis side, all my cousins on my mama's side. I love all y'all, the LayJ family, man. I love all y'all, man, and just hope to make y'all proud, man.
Amen. Amen. Love it. Love it. So my first question for you, again, icebreaker question. Do you have a bucket list? And if so, what is something that's on your bucket list that you have yet to fulfill?
I do have a bucket list. I definitely have a bucket list. My bucket list is kind of all over the place. You know, me being from born and raised in Fisherville,
Right.
properly stated,
Yes.
Fisherville, and moving to California. I've experienced a lot, man, in 30 years, man.
Uh-huh.
It's just crazy that when you in the midst of what you're doing, you don't realize what you're doing. You
Right.
don't realize some of your accomplishments, and you don't realize some of your mistakes. So I'm just enjoying the moment, man, and my bucket list, like I said, is kind of all over the place. One thing I would like to do that hopefully will be happening from real soon, sooner than later, is that I want to win a championship as a coach at the collegiate level.
Awesome.
As a college coach, I win a championship. So
Right.
still chasing that dream. I got a few irons in the cold, as they say, and maybe that can happen sooner than later.
Right.
The next thing I would like to do is I like to meet my favorite rapper of all time. His name is Scarface, Brad Jordan.
From Houston, right?
A lot of people just know him as a rapper, like
Right.
a gangster rapper.
Right.
All his lines. But a lot of people, unless you're from H-Town or you from our neck of the woods, but a lot of people don't know is that he just ran for city council.
Oh.
And he lost in the runoff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It just lets you know how intellectual and how deep he really is. He's community related. He loves his community. He loves Houston, man. He loves his neighborhood, South Park, just like I love my neighborhood, Fisherville.
Right.
Like I love my neighborhood in Compton, the west side of Compton. So he's a very accomplished rapper, obviously, but he's a community activist. And I'm not saying that I'm one,
Mm-hmm.
but I do care about my community
Right.
in Lake Charles and in Compton. And that's some things I like are the two things on my bucket list I like to do. I like to go to Hawaii too, but one of my former college teammates, Brian Tyler, he lives in Hawaii, so
right.
I don't consider it a bucket list because I can go see B anytime.
Right.
It's just I find time to do that. But
Yeah.
some things that that I would really like to do, those are two things for sure.
Okay. And now you mentioned your favorite rapper, Scarface. Can you remind us? I know what group he used to belong to. What was the name of the group that he belonged to? The Ghetto Boys. Yes.
We were bandmates, as you know.
Uh-huh.
You played the French horn. I was Trump, and then I went to the French horn. Okay. We used to have a group called the Wild Boys. I don't know if you remember that.
That sounds familiar. Right.
The trunk section, so yeah, the Ghetto Boys is one of my favorite groups growing up, but Scarface, he was just so deep to me,
right,
mentally, and I could relate to a lot of the stuff he was rapping about, so
right,
that's my guy, without a doubt. Would love to meet him one day and just talk to him.
Right. Now, I know that you are a year behind me, so you've either already had a birthday or you got one coming up where you're going to turn 50 this year, correct?
No doubt, man. I'll be turning the big 5-0, man, October 15th, 1990, man. A lot of people don't realize this or know this, but I haven't wore hair like this here in 30 years, man. I'm actually I'm a part of a little coaching association, and we all decided, I think it was March 12th, that we wasn't going to cut our hair until, the pandemic was under control.
Oh, okay.
Quote, unquote, as far as us coaches uniting.
Right.
And everybody cut their hair but me because I was back home in Louisiana, so I come back, everybody got these fresh haircuts. So,
right.
I got some things coming up in my immediate future, so I'm gonna wait out a couple more weeks, man, so I can have a fresh haircut when I step up in the place where I need to be.
Right.
Out of my business. But yeah, I'll be 50 years old October 15th, man. Lord, let me live, man. It'll be a blessing, man.
Yes.
I got a homie, man, one of my older homies. His name is Danny Frazier. He's like about 8 years older than me.
Okay.
He last dunked the basketball at 53.
53?
So, yes, 53 years old. So I'm going to last dunk at 54. So that's my goal.
Yes.
That's my goal. I stay in shape, man. Coach. Right. Coaching and working with kids keep you young, man.
Yes.
I'm blessed to be in shape. So it's just all a blessing. And the big 5-0 coming to you, hopefully.
Yeah. You got any special plans for your 50th?
Well, actually, man, before the pandemic happened, I was going to have when I first moved to Compton, there was this hotel. It was called the Compton Ramada. Mm-hmm. Now it's called the Crystal Park Casino. It was like for quote-unquote tourists. Yeah, we got tourists in Compton.
Yeah.
It all started there for me when I was at Compton College as a freshman.
Right.
They used to have this comedy show on Monday nights. You used to watch Monday Night Football. This funny dude named Mr. Groove. It was hilarious, man. So I was going to have my 50th birthday party, and I was going to have a roast.
Okay.
With my guys, I played ball a lot of different places. I got friends from all over the world.
Right.
And they were all going to come down. And the guys who were going to roast me was my buddy Jason Carmichael, who actually brought me to Compton.
Okay.
My buddy Bobby Richardson, a.k.a. Poe Black, best jab in the business. He's like brother for another man. And then my best friend in the world, man, Harry Truder, man, HP. He from Lake Charles.
Lake Charles, yeah.
He graduated from Washington, man, but I ain't gonna hold it against
him. Yeah.
I love him, man. Since I moved away from there, my mom passed away on July 18, 2016. That's a day I'll never forget.
Okay.
My dad just had a bout with cancer, and he's still in Lake Charles, man. And the boy HP, man, he go check on my pops every day, bro. So I don't want to get emotional, man, but
right.
I love him for that, man. How many people can say after 30 years that their best friend from when they were in high school still go check on their dad, man?
Absolutely.
Definitely, he was going to roast me because he got more stories than anybody in my life about me. So,
I'm sure.
I have all my friends, former coaches, some of my former instructors.
Right.
Obviously, some of my former students, and planning to have a good time. We don't know. We may can still salvage it. We'll see what's happening, but if not, No, thinking about taking some of my family, thinking about taking a trip down to Vegas, and from Lake Charles to Texas, Cali, we're gonna hang out in Vegas for a weekend if I can't get the roads popping.
Hey, amen, amen to that. Now, you kind of touched on Lake Charles a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What was it like for you growing up in Lake Charles, Louisiana?
Man, it was rough for me, man. My dad was a police officer. He was a disciplinarian, and sometimes he didn't take the badge off when he got home. So, what they call child abuse today, man, my dad probably would be just getting out.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we all say that.
Yeah, no doubt. It made me a better person. It made me tough. It made me learn how to persevere. And it was tough love. And I appreciate it, man. I was very family oriented. I lived at my grandmother's in Fisherville, Church Street on the Dead. My mom had 5 brothers and 3 sisters. My dad had 10 brothers and 3 sisters. So, I come from a big family. I got like 1 million cousins in Lake Charles, about another 20,000 in Houston. So we all, and in the summer, we would all spend the summer at my grandmother's house. So, so I would spend half the summer at my grandmother's house on my grandma Francis, and the other half my grandma Leje, and just all my little cousins. We more like brothers and sisters than cousins.
Right.
I got 2 of my little cousins. We call ourselves 3 the hard way. I love them with all my heart. My little cousin, Tasha Jones, and Daphne Babin Coleman. I love them with all my heart. I've had a lot of rough spots in Cali living out here, and they've always been there for me. I love all my cousins. It's just,
right.
You have different relationships with everybody in life. They're more like my sisters than my cousins, man. So I love them to death, and I hope I'm making y'all proud, man. I love you, Tasha, Dad.
Yes. Now, I know your brother Tim graduated with me. How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 siblings. Myself, I have a younger brother named Dominique Francis. He's a pastor in Lake Charles.
Okay.
And I have my brother Tim.
Right.
Tim Jr. in Lake Charles. But he Hammer out here in Cali.
Hammer?
So I'm the middle guy. Me and my brother Tim Jr. Everybody used to think we were twins because we were 11 months apart.
Right.
And we grew up like twins. He's my big bro. I love him. I'm 6'4", 190 now. He's like 5'9".
Right.
He's still big bro though.
He's still big bro. Yeah. No doubt. All right. So now, tell us about. We know that you're a basketball player. How did it start for you? How did you get involved with basketball, and how did it transition to wherever it took you? Tell us about that.
Man, I love Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
I do not care to comment on The Last Dance, so do not care to comment on.
Okay.
I just don't care to comment on. But I love Michael Jordan growing up. I wanted to be like him. I walk like him. I dress like him. I tried to play like him. And when I was in high school, I didn't get the opportunity that a lot of people got.
Right.
I was a 5'9" student. I'm 6'4" now.
Right.
But I always loved the game, man. Just that drive. I'll never forget Coach Mooney Lawson and Coach Williams,
Right.
They didn't give me a chance. And I thank them now because it inspired me and motivated me to become the person that I am. It's the reason why I'm the coach that I am now.
Right.
I don't give a care how small, tall, or what color you are. I'm going to give you a fair chance. If you put the work down, you put the work down. I had a kid on my team. He was half Asian and half Hispanic.
Right.
His name was Christian Mason. He was about 5'5". He was one of the most feared guys in the Moore League. The Moore League is a basketball league out here that's like pretty good.
Right.
And this kid was feared. And that's fact. Everybody who know me know. But he was 5'5". That's why he was feared. Because I gave him a chance.
Right.
And more importantly, he took advantage of it. But I gave him that opportunity because that was an opportunity that I didn't get in high school.
Right.
And I turned out okay. I was blessed to play college ball. I played professionally. I played abroad for a few years in a few places.
Okay.
And I didn't even play high school basketball. So it's a blessing. It's a testament to, the people who gave me a chance. But it's a testament to me chasing my dream, man.
Right.
I'm just a Fisherville, man.
Right.
I'm from Lake Charles. Ain't nobody never heard of me. Some people out here ain't never heard of Lake Charles.
Right.
I had people out here thinking Fisherville I'm like,
Right.
no, that's my neighbor.
Yeah.
My neighborhood, because that's how it was in Fisher.
Right.
We were a family. We all loved each other, you know. I just, I thank all those brothers on the park, Evans Street Park, that used to scold me and mold me and rough me up.
Oh, yes.
Cats like David Duhon.
Right.
Cats like Chick. And my uncle T. Me Lejeune, Anthony Lejeune, Bougie, just Paul August, man, top twins. We all used to play basketball and we used to go at it. And I used all them lessons I got from them. And I moved out here to California, made a college team.
Right.
And, you know, and it just kind of took off from me from there, man. Like I said, I met my guy Jason Carmichael in Long Beach, California. My brother told me Long Beach was 3 hours from Compton. And Long Beach from Compton is like Lake Charles to Highway.
Oh.
But, you know, I moved out here in 90 and it was real. And
Right.
my brother didn't want me to be caught up.
Right.
But I found out you can catch a bus, the Atlantic bus, man. Got on the bus, rode the bus to Compton, met the coach, man. He never even seen me hold a basketball in my hand.
Right.
I told him Jason Carmichael sent me, and I'm not going to tell you what they gave me, quote unquote, due to NCAA rules.
Right. Right.
They took care of me.
Right.
You know, they took care of me, and the rest is history, man. You know, I'm kind of well known out here in Compton for playing at Compton College.
Right.
Compton College is like my serenity, man. It's where it all started for me. You know, I didn't walk across the stage at Lake Charles, Boston, because I didn't turn in a book, bro.
Oh.
And it just goes to show you how it was back in the day.
Right.
I didn't turn in an English book from Miss Nash class.
Oh. Yeah.
So I didn't find out, and they told me I couldn't walk.
Right.
And I was devastated, man. So the first time I ever walked across stage is when I graduated from Compton College.
Right.
I was very emotional. I was like, couldn't stop crying, and my buddies was like, "Man, what's wrong with you, bro?" I mean, but they didn't understand the moment for me. You know?
Right.
This
Right.
was like graduating from Lakeland College all at once. You know?
Right.
And then to be able to play there, you know, win games, went to the Elite Eight, and now let's just say that I hope to be the head coach at Compton College real soon.
Oh, okay.
So, real soon.
Right.
I just want to stay politically correct, you know, but it's my time, man. You know, I actually interviewed for the job in the past,
Right.
but I wasn't prepared. But now I'm prepared. You know, I have the experience, and I'm ready to come home. I'm ready to go home and come to college. So that's what it is, man.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, since we are talking about basketball, there's always been some debate about the GOAT, the greatest of all times in the NBA. Most say Michael Jordan, some say Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, and now some are saying LeBron James. You, as a basketball player and basketball coach, to you, who is the GOAT? And tell us why.
Okay, I'm gonna just obviously I had this debate all the time.
Right.
Shout out to my man Jamal Huff, Unity Hoops, because I just had this debate. I know Jamal laughing right now.
Right.
What I say about
Okay.
everybody keep forgetting Kareem. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had the most unstoppable shot in the history of basketball.
Oh, yes.
He created a shot that is still the most unstoppable shot in basketball. So I do it based upon era.
Okay.
I think they all were GOATs, you know, at certain points in their era. And I just feel like, you know, Kareem was the GOAT of his era. I feel like Mike was the GOAT of his era. I feel like Magic / Bird. I'm a Larry Bird fan.
Right.
You know, they won multiple MVPs. They were the GOATs of their era. And then you got Mike, then you got Kobe, then you got LeBron. I could never pick one over. Me personally, I told you it wouldn't be for Michael Jordan. I wouldn't love the game the way I do. So
Right.
I would be biased.
Right.
Big time LeBron James fan. Big time, because of the way he played the game and because of the things that he do off the court.
Yes.
You know, this is a guy that, you know, after all these years, you still ain't heard nothing about his daddy. I mean, even after Shaq, after a while, okay, this is Shaq biological father.
Right.
But years later, this man, you still ain't heard about his father. He's still doing it for his people, for his community. You know, he's doing for the game of basketball and for the NBA. He's like, it's unbelievable what he's doing. So
right.
I could never pick one of them. I just feel like they're over the coach of the era.
Okay. Now, with the current NBA teams and players. Do you have a current player that you follow? One that's more favorable to you than others? Who would that be and why?
Okay, I've been coaching out here for like I said, 19 years.
Uh-huh.
I coached against a lot of these kids, so I know them personally.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook, he's one of my favorite players. He went to Louisiana High School. I used to be the head coach at King Drew High School.
Okay.
And me and him argued for like a whole quarter. Like every time he did it, he kind of let me know he did it.
Right.
And I was livid, obviously. I loved him to death. He's a competitor. He was always like, he wasn't that explosive in high school.
Wow.
He shoot the light, but he became a man.
Right.
James Harden, he played on one of my summer league teams. I love James Harden to death, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a kid named Amir Johnson. He used to play with the Philadelphia 76ers. I know him real well. There's a kid, Chemezi. He was with the San Antonio Spurs. So, Brandon Jennings, that's my little homie. His uncle, my boy Cheese, man. What's up, Cheese?
Yeah.
His uncle was a good friend of mine. So Brandon Jennings, I love him to death. He's another fiery, competitive guy. I know Tayshaun Prince. I know these guys personally. So
right.
when Michael Jordan left the NBA, I was a Bulls fan. Now I'm out here in LA. One of my bros got like season tickets to the Clipper game, so I'm on the Clipper bandwagon a little bit.
Okay.
I'm a Paul George fan. One of my other basketball bros, name is Rock Johnson. He has a American Foundation.
Right.
Paul George played for him, so I've had a couple of interactions with Paul George. Jordan Hamilton is another kid named Daniel Hamilton. Shout out to D Ham.
Mm-hmm.
He was with the Atlanta Hawks for a minute. So when I watch basketball, it will be different per se from you watching it because you're just watching a bunch of professional athletes. But I'm watching guys that I knew as kids.
Right.
Who to be in it. So
right.
It's a proud thing to watch some of these kids play. So
right.
But right now, my favorite player in the game is LeBron James. LBJ, without a doubt.
Okay. All right. So we know that you were a player. Now you have been a coach for 19 years. Tell us how you made that transition from player to coach. What made you decide to get into coaching basketball?
Well, I still haven't made the transition. I still play. Well, since the pandemic, I haven't been able to play, but I still play actively.
Wow.
I play it's a 40 and over Drew League. The Drew League is the most extraordinary, the top summer pro league in the United States of America, and it has been for probably about the last 15 years, I'd say.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with it. They have like the Rucker, I forgot what it's called. It's at the Rucker Park in New York.
Right. It's like that?
We have the league, and then out here in LA, we have the Drew League.
Okay.
Well, I'm in the Drew League Hall of Fame.
Oh, congratulations.
I won the Drew League championship.
Right.
With the Evil Empire team called Problems. Back in the day, they're still in the Drew League.
Okay.
And I play in the 40 and over Drew League. Former NBA players playing it. Keith Kloss playing it. Ron Artest playing it. T.O. Terrell Owens playing it. So
wow.
Katino Mobley played and I played in the 35 and league. He played in that.
Right.
Jeff Trepanier, former NBA players. So it's at a very competitive level. I have my own team, Compton Ballers. There we go.
Yeah.
So I haven't made the transition.
Right.
Still play actively. I still take it to heart, and I love the game, man. I'm in love with the game. See, that's
right.
different. Some people love the game. I'm in love with the game.
Right.
That's why my blood's still bouncing so hard. But I got into coaching, man. I had just came home. I had played in Taipei, Taiwan, and one of my buddies, his name is Morgan Hunt. He's like the director of Parks and Recs in the city of Compton right now.
Okay.
When I first met him, he used to just be a regular guy at the park. Now he runs the parks, every park in Compton.
Wow.
So he would let me work out in the gym late night, after the park was closed. I was getting ready to go overseas. So one day this kid league was up and a coach didn't show up. And he was like, my nickname out here is POD. Mm-hmm. And they call me POD. Stands for pissed off dude, man. But I call myself a passionate old dude.
Right.
I'm too old to be pissed off. Man.
Right.
It's all about the love, man. So Marv asked me to coach. The coach didn't show up, and I was like, man, I don't want to mess with kids, man. So
right.
he asked me to do it for him as a favor. I did it, man. I fell in love with coaching. I still had that plaque. That was the first game I ever coached. It was some 9-year-olds. A young lady that who was on the team, her son was on the team. She was the athletic director at King Drew High School of Medicine and Science. So she like, you pretty good, man. You know, what you think about coaching high school? And the only thing I want to know is, can I run my own plays?
Right.
And she was like, you can do whatever you want. You got to hire your own staff and everything. She was like, you got a staff? I was like, yeah, I got everything, and I ain't have nothing.
Right.
So they hired me to be the coach. I was the second coach in the school's history. It's a very prestigious high school out here. Like 92% of the students graduate from that high school, go to college.
Oh, nice. Nice.
6% of them graduate. It's a predominantly female school. It's about 65% female.
Really?
And at the time, the teams they had was basketball and volleyball. So to be on the basketball team, you were like a rock star.
Right.
And I made them live up to the standard. You know, they were all, you know, I coached like I was raised.
Right.
You know, I wasn't, you know, but I like to have fun. You know?
Right.
I'm still a young, like I tell them, I listen to rap music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to have fun, but you know, I always tell them that my favorite movie in the world was New Jack City.
Right.
And my favorite line in the movie was Nino said, "It's business, man. It's never personal."
Right.
And I tell kids, what happened is, as coaches, we make business decisions, and kids and parents take it personal.
Oh.
Because it's like, you just didn't like my decision because I made it based off the good of the team.
Right.
And that wasn't personal that I dislike you, I like you. That was business. So it's something that come with coaching. You know, after as long as I've been doing it, you know, I'm accustomed to it. It's part of the game, man. So, you know, that's how I got into coaching. Had some success. Won a few championships. Went on to other few places. And now I'm, like I said, I'm ready to coach at the collegiate level. And I feel like it's my time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you told us about your life growing up in Lake Charles. You've now been living in Compton, California for how long now?
30 years, November 27, 1990.
30 years. So what has life like been in Compton, California? For those of us who've never been there, we only know it based on what we see on the movies. So you tell us from personal experience, what is it like living in Compton, California?
I'm going to tell you just like this here, man. I tell people all the time, because it's funny to me, man. Sometimes I be in grocery stores, man. I was like in Superior over there on Alameda and Compton, and I saw this guy, man, Bob. Shout out to Bob. I met Bob when I first, his name was Hubert. They called him Bob.
Okay.
I met him when I first moved to California, right? They used to call me country. They could barely understand what I was saying. He saw me the other day. He was like, man, you still out here? I'm like, yeah. He was like, man, you doing your thing, man. So I tell people like this here. I was able to adapt, adjust, live in Compton and love Compton and where I do, because it's just like Lake Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Compton just like Lake Charles, man. And what I mean by that is, it's like, yeah, they got gangs out here. They got sections out here. But, hell, in Lake Charles, you got Fisherville, you got Gosport, you got Railroad Avenue, you got Terry's Village, Car Shop, Anita Drive. It's the same thing out here. They just, you know, it's just got a different name. You know, it might be, you know, might be 151. You know, it might be Santana. You know?
Right.
It's just, but it's their neighborhood. There's a bunch of dudes that grew up in their neighborhood. The difference is, what I say right now, is that it used to go from a neighborhood. It's kind of commercial. Don't get me wrong. It's commercialized to me, as far as the gang stuff when I first moved out here, man.
Right.
To where you could really lose your life behind a color.
Oh, wow.
When I first moved here. And now it ain't like that, man.
It's not like that? Okay.
Now, I wear red, blue, green, whatever, man. It's just respect where you at, man. Just
right.
Like back home. Respect where you at. Now, personal beefs and personal issues, that's everywhere.
Right.
You know, certain things that happen, you know, the Hatfields and McCoys. You know, so it's like that with some people out here. But for the most part, man, Compton, it's like, it's all love, man. They call it the hub city, man. And the reason why Compton is called the hub city is because we're 3 minutes away from being on 5 major freeways in California. The 405, the 105, the 10, the 91, the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm sitting there right now, I can get to any one of those freeways within 5-10 minutes.
Right.
So that's why we call it the Love City. They just built, well, it's been a while now, they built this big old train thing because, you know, you can get a lot of stuff transported, you know, from the ports of Long Beach,
right,
straight through Compton, Hub to downtown LA, and
right,
various other places, man. So, yeah, man, Compton is a beautiful place. I love it, man. I love the Hub City, man.
right.
I love it. These people been good to me out here. It's home, man. Like
right.
my boy said, man, you was born and raised in Lake Charles and Fisherville,
right,
but you became a man in Compton, and I stick to that.
Right.
And ain't no place like Lake Charles, bro. But it's like it's split down the middle of my heart. There's no place like Compton too, man.
Right.
And I started my organization, the Compton Ballers, man. A bunch of brothers that love each other. The game of basketball brought us together. But we do all kind of different things, man. We got people from all walks of life. You know, we got police officers. You know, one of my former students, he's started a Compton Vegan. He has his own vegan restaurant. You know, it's just a beautiful thing, man. Compton is a beautiful place. Don't believe all that negativity you hear because it's everybody live in glass houses, bro.
Right.
It's drama everywhere.
Right.
It ain't like that in Compton. There's a lot of love out here. You know?
Right.
And I'm from both places, man.
Right.
I'm officially from Lake Charles, Louisiana, and I'm officially from Compton, California. That's a fact.
Right. Now, you mentioned the gangs there. Have you personally, in the past maybe, experienced or seen any gang violence?
I mean, it's part of Compton, man. I mean, you know, it's like somebody asked me, man, I had a police officer I was pulled over one time. He asked me, you from over here? You from you know, the neighborhood I was in? And I was like, no, I live here, man.
Right.
And he actually pulled me over from my house. Didn't realize it.
Right.
And he was like, well, you from over here? I said, yeah, I'm from over here. I said, Miss Kelly from over here, because my neighbors started coming out.
Right.
I said, Kelly from over here. I said, and my next door neighbor, Juan from over here, Miss Glory from over here. I said, we all from over here. So what you mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I've seen gang stuff. I mean, why wouldn't have I?
Right.
I mean, you know me. You know?
Yeah.
I grew up in Fisherville, man.
Right.
I'm not going to sit up here and act like I was a saint.
Right.
So, I've seen it all, man. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Some people want to grow up and be doctors. Some people want to grow up and be lawyers. Some people want to grow up and be the baddest gangster from their neighborhood. That's just how it is. That's how they was raised. Man.
Right.
You know, if his grandfather was from the hood and his daddy was from the hood and his brother and his uncles, I mean, what did he have to look up to?
Right.
You know? So that's why, you know, I do what I do, man. You know, when I first came out here, man, you know, it was like I lived in a certain section and I had to adapt and adjust.
Right.
I did that. You know, people out here know me, you know, what I stand for. But at the end of the day, man, it's about, you know, who's motivating them and what do they have to look up to. So that's what I try to do. I try to take the game of basketball and let them know, man, I'm a kid from Lake Charles, man.
Right.
First team I ever played on was a college team. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it.
Absolutely.
That's my message I get from.
All right, all right. Well, this is a good transition then. With all the stuff that we have going on because of the death of George Floyd, you personally, as a black man from the South, have you ever experienced racism? And is there something that you can share with us about your experience with racism, whether in Louisiana or California or wherever it was?
Wow, man. Yeah, man. I was 15 years old. Me, my brother, Tim Jr., my cousin, Mervin Caesar, Junior Boy, sub-Junior Boy. We rode our bikes to Highway. We asked to ride our bikes to Highway, Louisiana. Straight up Highway 90. You familiar with that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we rode there in the daytime. Of course, we was chasing tails, want to mess with some young ladies.
Right.
And it messed around, started getting dark on us, so we had to hightail it back. Well, on our way back, somebody had called my dad and my uncle and told them that we had rode bikes to Highway. So they looking for us. So, you know, now Highway 90, it ain't no street lights. Pitch black.
Dark.
All you can see is headlights. So
right.
every time we saw a headlight coming, we was hiding in the grass because we didn't want my dad. And my dad, you know, he beats blood, right? So,
Right.
So we trying to hide from him. So every time we said, "Hey, like hide in the grass." So as we came around that bend, right before you get to the blue settlement, bro, saw the cross burning, man.
Oh, wow.
15 years old, 1985. July,
Right.
I'll never forget it. It was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And we had bikes.
Right.
And they didn't see this. We just scooted on by, man. So yeah, I've seen it, man.
Right.
And I've had experiences out here in California, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being in Compton, man. One of my buddies, man, Andre Stovall. He played at University of Hawaii.
Right.
He was one of my alumni from Compton College. He had just got in town. Like literally, his bags were in my trunk on my car.
Right.
And we got pulled over. I was in a blue Camry. He pulled us over. I'm 6'4", Stovall about 6'3",
Mm-hmm.
6'2.5". I'm a little taller than Stovey. And he said, drew down on us. Put your fucking hands up. All that, excuse my language.
Right.
Like, I'm like, well, what's going on, officer? I mean, what we do, man? He said, just shut up. Got us out the car. Said, you guys fit the description of Bob. I'm like, officer, man, we coming from LAX, man. I said, man, this man just got off the plane. Put us in the back seat of the car, ran our names. My man was on probation. And searched the car. Seen the ticket stub, like they just got there.
Right.
And just told us we can go. Like, but we fit the description, bro. And we're just coming from the airport.
Right.
LAX from Compton is about 15 minutes.
Right.
So it's like, you know, and my man, I was pissed. My man was pissed, but then, you know, my man was like, guess what? You know, POA could have ended up worse.
Oh, yes.
So that's look at it, and it's just unfortunate, man.
Right.
But it's enough.
Yeah.
I got to stay politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that I have to do that.
Right.
And one day, I'm going to be me. But I'm not going to say I'm not going to be. One day, I'm just going to say what I got to say.
Right.
You know, eventually, I'll just put it like this here. It's a biblical scripture. The last will be first.
Right.
The last will be first.
Absolutely.
I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely. All right. So with this corona pandemic, how has that affected you, whether negatively or positively?
Well, it affects me, financially it affects you. It affects you because, a lot of the things that I'm accustomed to doing, I like to work out. I love to play basketball.
Right.
You can't, all the gyms are closed. And then just, to me, just the way people are just panicking. I mean, I always felt like it was a secret agenda. I always felt like when they tell you. So, I just, I don't know, man. I got different views of the pandemic because, like I said, I just think it's a whole nother agenda that's really going on behind the scenes. And just,
right.
We're not in the know with the right people to know what's really going on. But certain people know what's going on. But it's opening up back now. Like I said, I'm actually at an organization, LA City Wildcats. I'm a part of a coaching organization. And we're having a powwow in there now. And, things starting to be positive. The thing I like about it is that people are starting to say, you know what, it's strength in numbers and we need to unite. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, our last question, because I know you got stuff you got to do here. Our last question of the night. Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to the younger version of Chris Francis? Now that you've lived almost 50 years, I'm sure you've made a lot of mistakes like the rest of us. There's things you probably would do differently. So what advice would you give to that younger version of you so that he can negotiate his life maybe a little bit better than what you did, or maybe you want it to be exactly the same? What advice would you give?
Okay, I think that I would tell him the things that I think I'm doing well at is love your family, man.
Mm-hmm.
Love your family, call your family. like, he always want to take pictures with everybody. I'm saying, that when you get, that's all you got is memories, man.
Right.
So love your family. I would tell a younger me, love your family, stay in communication with your family.
Right.
Make sure your family's in communication with your family.
Right.
Next thing I would tell a younger me is prioritize your priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Understand what is a priority and prioritize it to the fullest.
Right.
And the last thing I would tell me is like, I would tell myself is take the education more seriously. You know,
That's
I probably
good.
waste about, man, I graduated I got my BA when I was, 43?
Right.
I'm sorry, I got my BA when I was 30, no, when I was 40, and I got my master's when I was 43.
Okay.
I could have been done it.
Right. Oh, yes.
I didn't go to college to get a degree. I went to college to go to MBA.
Right.
When that didn't work out for me, I didn't have nothing to fall back on.
Right.
So, I mean, I had a job. I did this and that, but a job that it's a privilege to go to a job that you love.
Right. Oh, yes.
And that's what I would tell you. Take your education seriously, you know, and get it out the way, man. I mean, I finished up my BA and my master's in like a 4-year span.
Right.
I was BSing, and I had all those units, and all I had to do was combine them, and I was good to go.
Right.
I just want to say one more thing, man.
Yeah.
Man, you was talking, and you had asked me, you know, who do I admire? And I've been thinking about it, and there's two people that I really admire a lot, two young ladies, and that's my little niece. Her name is Jasmine Jazzy Jones, and my sis cousin Tasha Jones. And I admire them because both of them lost their mother and their father. Wow. And ironically, my little sister, that was her brother too. That was our little bro.
Right.
And I was just with him in Lake Charles, and they so strong.
Right.
And I admire them for just waking up and being the strong women that they are every day.
Right.
So, I mean, they've lost so much, man, and they still, you would never know, man. You would never know. So, I love y'all, Tasha, and I love you, Jazz, and I really admire y'all, and I didn't want just you to know, I want everybody to know how much I love y'all, and I'll always be here.
Right. All right. Well, great shout out to Tasha and Jasmine. I hope y'all heard that. Certainly appreciate that. Well, I can say, Chris, man, you are a great conversationalist. I feel like we're just two guys, man, that are just sitting on the block, just chopping it up, just talking, man. So that made this conversation, man, just really organic. And I certainly appreciate that, man. Certainly appreciate that.
I remember, I remember this. I don't know if you remember, man. We was in high school, bro. We used to play in a concert band, played at Southern University. And me and you played French horn, man. I'll never forget this, bro. It's like when you move away from home,
right?
Little things you never forget. Bro, I had lost my wallet, bro.
You lost your wallet?
And you bought me something to eat, man.
What?
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell you how you gonna remember. Remember Mr. Bryant? Remember I played baseball in high school.
Okay.
And they dropped up. We had the band concert the same day as a tournament. We was playing in Jennings, Louisiana.
Uh-huh.
And we got off the freeway and ran because the baseball diamond was off the freeway.
Right.
Me, Mickey Cole, and Mark Thomas. And Carl Shelton. It was Carl Shelton.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we got off the bus on the way back from Southern on the freeway and ran out the fence and played our baseball.
Same day.
Yeah, and you know, I was embarrassed, didn't want to ask nobody. And you looked out for me, bro. I'll never forget that, bro.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't remember it. But yeah, I'm glad you remember it.
Me, that's why you don't remember. Bro.
Yeah.
So when you reached out to me, I was like, wow, man, I sure appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, man, I certainly appreciate this, man. This is something that I'm trying to kick off, man, because like I said, I don't know if you heard when I first did the first one, and the reason that I'm doing this is because I've seen the celebrities on Instagram. They talk celeb to celeb because of the pandemic, but we know once they go back to work, they're going to disappear. But I said, you know what? There's nothing on Facebook, and I want to be able to talk to regular people because we got stories. we got stuff that we've gone through, things that we can share that can help people or at least entertain them. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm doing this. And I certainly appreciate you agreeing to help me out with this, man.
My pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Anytime, Kev, man. You know, we come from the same place, man.
Right.
You know, like I got this shirt, I saw it on Facebook, ironically, and I bought it. It was meaningful and powerful to me. It said, Lake Charles, Louisiana is where my story began. You know, that's where my story began, man.
Same here.
It's this other song I listened to, man, by Puff Daddy. Old, man.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Right.
And at the end of the song, it said, I don't know where I'm going. I just know where I want to end up.
Right.
And that's where I'm at, man. I just know where I want to end up, man. I just want to be a successful college coach.
Yes.
And I want to make my family proud, man. I got a lot of people back south.
Right.
In Lake Charles, Houston. I got family all over. I got family in Florida. I got family in Atlanta. My cousin Andrea, I love her. And Lyle, I love you guys. And I just want to make them proud, man. That's it. I got family in Compton I want to make proud.
Amen.
And that's what it's about, man. It's about doing what's right, man, and leaving on a legacy, man.
Absolutely.
I have 2 grandchildren, man. I got my granddaughter Mariah.
Right.
And my grandson, his name is Kylie. We call him Bayman. And you know, I want to leave a legacy for them, for my kids. You know, I have a 30-year-old daughter named Morgan Robinson. You know, I have a 25-year-old daughter named Tia Francis. And my son, my homie, my buddy.
Your buddy.
His name is Christopher Francis. We call him Deuce, though. His name Deuce.
Right.
So, you know, I just want to leave a legacy for them. And just want them to be somebody that So that's what it is with me, Kev, man. Anything I can do to support your platform, I'm always down, man. Always.
All right. Certainly appreciate you, man. Well, folks, that's all that we have for tonight. I certainly appreciate everyone tuning in. I ask that you share this so that we can get more exposure to Coach Chris Francis as he pursues his dreams. I will be back live next Wednesday. I'll have another guest, but as always, I always like to surprise you. So I will let you know who that guest is going to be next week. That's all that I have. I'll see you guys next week. All right, Chris, man, take it easy.
Thank you. You too, buddy.
All right, later.